All right, let's just get right into it. So, episode 84 of the Morse Code podcast. Here we are. We'll address the elephant in the room shortly. But let's pay homage to the Randy Moss. I don't know, Randy Moss or Deion Branch episode.
Wait.
One has a Super Bowl MVP and one doesn't.
Yeah.
I think he was 84, right? Deion Branch?
Yeah. I think he, like, in his second tenure, he switched to 83.
Yeah.
Say.
I forgot he was a two-timer. Let's see here. Nothing like an undersized wide receiver in New England. Doing well.
We do those?
It's a system. System quarterback, system wide receivers. Yeah. Oh, wait, my bad. It was the other way around. He was 83 the first time, 84 when he came back.
Okay.
So
that changes things.
That certainly does. Call it the Randy Moss up. I think Randy Moss played better in 84 than Deion Branch did.
Yeah. He brought more respect to the number.
Sure did. Here we are. Another day, another Super Bowl for Tom Brady. Unbelievable. I don't even know where to start. Unbelievable. Like, I'm shocked, but like, I'm really not. It's like, I was trying to think back of how we kind of addressed this whole situation throughout the tenure of the show. One thing I think I said on the air before was around like early to mid-season, I was actually surprised how uninterested I was in like following the Bucs. Like, I really went into the season thinking it was going to be like a Patriots 1 and like Tampa Bay like 1B, like me following throughout the year, you know? But like, I'd watch a Bucs game. It's like, I just really can't get in. Like, I get it, Brady's playing, but it's not what I thought. And then when I realized the Patriots sucked, it made it a little easier. But like, this playoffs has been pretty fun. Like, up until last night, following Brady and the Bucs. Like, honestly, bro, last night, like, I think I might ride this one out for a little bit. Like, I'm in no rush to go back to Patriots, 100% Patriots fan anytime soon. I might ride this one for another week or so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler alert. We're talking about the game last night. Bucks Chiefs. I think it was nationally televised. I don't know.
Was it blacked out anywhere?
No, I think they met the requirements to air it without any interference. That place looked damn near sold out to me. Raymond James Stadium. Majority of the fans were cutout cardboard fans, but still looked like a romping crowd to me.
That's what they want you to think.
True. And if you saw the Matthew
before, when it didn't apply, but
yeah, if you saw the Matthew McConaughey Doritos commercial, just like a bunch of those people in the stands. That was a weird commercial.
Really weird commercial.
Very weird. We can address commercials later, but like I said, here we go. Episode 84 of the Morse Code podcast. It is the first episode post Super Bowl. What was this? 54? 55? Right.
I think it was 54.
Mid 50s, something along there.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers really won the Super Bowl. That's still crazy to me. And I love our close personal friends of the program. I remember I was listening back to this before when one of the first times we had Shawnee O on, he said he didn't think the Bucs were going to get to 500. And I thought that was ridiculous, but I also didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl. I really didn't. I thought that was just too much.
Yeah.
But, and they, like, we'll get into it, but they won the Super Bowl comfortably. Like, that's never happened before in New England, ever.
No.
You either lose close or you win incredibly close. It was kind of nice to watch a comfortable Super Bowl victory for Tom Brady.
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch.
It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I think you may have said this earlier, but easily the most fun I had all football season, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, the most enjoyable, like we didn't even have to sweat it out if you were rooting for Brady. Although, I never, not until there were 5 or 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter was I like comfortable about it. But
I agree.
It was multiple scores.
I definitely wasn't comfortable at halftime. I'm trying to think, like, going into the third quarter. I just felt good because, like, the Chiefs weren't doing anything. Like, I know we'll talk about this too. Patrick Mahomes was living in hell throughout that entire game. literally running for his life. Like there were some plays. I remember one sack specific. I don't think he got sacked all that much, but he was rushed damn near every play. One of the sacks I remember, I think it was like Levante David, JPP, and one other guy. It was like a 3-man fucking pretzel factory they put Patrick Mahomes in. Yeah. And it's like, if this wasn't organized pro football, like those 3 guys would be on trial for manslaughter. Like the way some of those hits look. Like it would be snap, and then immediately you have to just run backwards to give yourself a chance at survival, let alone gaining positive yards on the play. It looked like I used to play Madden. Like we just
that's what I thought.
And snap the ball and run for your life, and then just tap circle, hoping for a prayer.
Dude, there was one play where he actually was 3rd and 33.
Yep, big time. I thought there were multiple 3rd and 30s occasions. Like I said, he's good enough to not get sacked and throw the ball away. Boy, but it's like fatigue has to. I'm sure we've all seen the stat. It was like close to 500 yards running post snap.
Dude, imagine if they had him mic'd up and as soon as he got the ball, he was just like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me with this."
Here we go. Literally just revving his engine to run backwards. Oh boy, was that terrible! But I like I said,
the same play that you're thinking of with the sack.
Oh man,
Sue was involved in the play, right?
Maybe that was the 3rd guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
that is
brutal.
They have a nasty defense. Like they have, I think their secondary kind of stinks. I know what's his name gets picked on a lot. Carlton Davis III gets picked on a lot, but dude, their linebackers, their D line played incredible. Like I would say I watched that game a lot closer than I've watched the most of the Bucs games, because I don't remember a narrative being around the Chiefs O line being terrible all year. I think you would have heard about that.
No, I know that injury to the tackle was pretty significant.
Good
point. But still,
did one of them actually?
Did anyone? A lot of people say that's the most like. Is it left or right? That's the most important.
Typically blind side, which would be his left.
Okay, I can't remember which one this guy was, but whichever one he was, he got rotated to the opposite one. So,
switch hitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was tough luck. That was tough luck. Like, again, like not to get into too much like X and O stuff, but it seemed like they had a pretty simple game plan. They had a couple high safeties, and they quadruple covered guys like Tyreek Hill throughout majority of the game. He couldn't do anything. And you couldn't ask for it to happen to a nicer guy, but he was shut down pretty well. Even Travis Kelce like put up numbers, but it's because he would scramble around for 30 seconds and just make something happen. Tyreek Hill was just living in hell for 48 minutes. I don't even know who his primary coverage was, but that was probably a safe game plan. And then those early drives, I think I saw you mention this in either group chat or Twitter. Guys like McCole Hardman and Pringle. I don't remember Pringle's first name. Chris, I assume. Chris Pringle was wide open, just taking balls off the face mask for the entire first half, dude. Couple overthrows here and there, but it's like, I don't know if you consider Todd Bowles a genius, but I think covering up guys like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and leaving those other guys open seemed to bode well in their favor.
I think making the guys take the balls off the face mask. I assume he asked them to do this.
It was probably in the pregame discussion.
Yes.
It's highly suggested.
Also a good strategy.
Sure. But let's get back on track. So like I said, I'll let you kind of narrate this thing. I'll follow your lead. If you haven't noticed, I still don't have my cell phone back. It's been quite a weekend. So I've been somewhat disconnected from the outside world, from social media. I was telling you offline, I really don't hate it. Like every now and then I'll log into Twitter from my laptop and I just see a bunch of terrible things I don't want to see. And I'm like, I could use a little break from this place, this hell on earth, that somehow is free. Anyone can just make an account and be part of that. So why don't you run through, what were some of your takeaways or kind of how you want to organize this thing?
Let's see. Let's start with the 2 plays by Mahomes.
Which one?
At this point, everyone knows like the outcome of the game and whatever.
What was the final? 31-9?
Yeah.
God, that's a fucking mopping.
Yeah.
KC did not score a touchdown. That's crazy. Shout out Shawnee O again, who called them to not score 10 points in the AFC Championship. And I laughed him right off the Zoom call. I did not see that happening. No kidding. No kidding. He was a week early. Speaking of that, I'm sure you'll get into it too, but hit on some proposition bets too. Did you?
Yeah.
So go ahead. Start with your Mahomes take, and then I'm sorry, I'll let you go ahead.
No, so obviously everyone knows like how the game went and whatever.
Sure do.
And if not, I think they're replaying it on Lifetime tonight. Catch it at 9 8
should
Central.
Be in the latest episode of the NFL Encyclopedia. That get releases annually.
Yes. So. We do get advanced copies, so it'd be nice.
Just perks. Perks at work.
But yeah, those two throws by Mahomes where he was scrambling on every fucking play. But those could have been two of the greatest plays in like Super Bowl history because of how close they came to being caught. And obviously would have been like game changers. So there's the one where he scrambled and ended up on the near sideline close to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was being tackled at his feet, he did like a spin move and threw it without even like having the bottom half of his body like mobile.
Yeah.
And almost hit the guy on a dime in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the ones that bounced off of like a helmet.
Yeah. There were in general a lot of like tip balls, like balls up in the air, which as soon as that happens, I just assume it's going to be an interception. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It happens frequently. And they did get a couple. I think how many picks did he throw? 2 picks? At least one off a bounce tip ball. Brady didn't throw one, did he?
No.
Yikes. Good for him.
Good. That's another good strategy.
Yep.
Isn't there a saying about that? Like, what is it?
Don't throw picks.
No.
Ball control is ball security is job security.
What is it? Dog is man's best friend. Tip balls is a quarterback's worst
nightmare. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that play, that one was ridiculous because it was from like the 30-yard line. So that was a crazy throw. And then the other one where everyone's seen the picture at this point where he's like perpendicular to the ground and somehow threw another dime where like they zoomed in and went to slow motion on that one. And he threw a perfect spiral. And it looked like a kid. I don't know. Picture like a Nickelodeon show from the 90s where a kid is laying in bed doing his homework or laying in bed like watching TV on his stomach. Like that's how nonchalant he looked in this position.
Yeah.
And threw it on a rope, but he He didn't have no choice.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like his biggest plays were literally just not taking sacks. Like he could have taken 10 sacks in that game, but he's athletic enough to get out and literally just get the football out of his hands. Even more impressively, sometimes in a direct line to the receiver's hands or helmet. You can only lead a horse to water.
Is that still true?
Can't make him drink. Yes. Confirmed. You can lead a horse to water. Certified cannot force him to drink.
I'm going to listen to the latest episode of the Horse Code podcast.
Yeah.
See if that's still true.
The only 2 notes I wrote down last night, because I'm like, I don't have my phone. I'll keep them on my computer. And I just didn't feel like doing it after 2 notes. First one, I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't know this. Maybe I just didn't know this. I had no idea Bruce Arians was older than Bill Belichick. Like he's 2 years. He's 2 years older than Bill Belichick. I picture Bill Belichick the oldest coach in the league, just because people talk about like he's the oldest coach in the league, him and Pete Carroll. Bruce Arians is 68. I keep thinking of him as like a young, young gunslinging like head coach. He's very much old, very old, older than Bill. I don't really like Bruce Arians all that much, but I was surprised to see that. I also saw on Twitter today, I think it said Travis Kelce and Gronk are the same age.
That one was crazy.
That's bizarre.
Yep.
I thought you could have told me Travis Kelce was 24. I know he's not, but you could have told me that. That's crazy.
I never heard of him during the Alex Smith era.
He was, yeah. It's just like he really broke out. I don't know. Like, let me pull it up. Like, he must have been average for at least like 5 years. He's definitely there during Alex Smith.
Yeah, it's Travis Barber Kelsey. If you're looking him up on the internet.
Actually, speaking of that, were there any formal repercussions from Barbergate with the Chiefs? Did anyone actually miss the game?
No.
Damn.
Except for the barber.
He's been in the league since 2013. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8th year in the league.
So wait a minute. He even predates Alex Smith then, I think?
No, God, no. 2013.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of the Niners.
Right. I think he was with the Chiefs, went to the Niners, amputated his own leg, and then came back to the WFT. Is what I think, how that time frame goes. That's crazy, though. Like, I think Travis Kelce is very good. Again, I don't like him at all. We've talked about this, but that's strange. Like, you could tell me Gronk was nearing 40, and you could tell me Travis Kelce was nearing 25. I'd probably believe each one.
So I feel like that further puts that conversation to bed. Not to use a bed reference, but about who's the GOAT tight end.
Not even close, dude. Like, I almost said this last night. Like, I really think Brady had a very good regular season. Like, they were, I think, not like holding back, but like Gronk played well in the Super Bowl. Like, he played better than he's ever played.
Yeah.
And those like Brady was fucking slinging it. Like, that first touchdown to Gronk was beautiful. That was an absolute seam dime that he's been throwing for 10 years in New England to him. I haven't seen that throw all year. Even the second one was sick. Even the one to AB was nasty. Like, Brady looked very well. And I've said this year all too. Most quarterback play I've seen this year, I compare it to what I've seen in New England and just makes it look probably that much better. Every throw Tom threw last night was better than any throw Cam Newton's thrown this year. I'm pretty comfortable saying.
Yeah,
without having all those throws in front of me right now, even like these little like seam passes to like Chris Godwin, they just weren't there in New England.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. They were there. They just weren't executed in New England. So that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, he was the other spinning it, as they like to say in the industry.
Sure was. Other note I had, and it's funny because, again, we were talking to Shawnee O in a group chat somewhere. He mentioned Tyrann Mathieu, who is a very strange looking person. I never realized how strange he looks. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's ugly. I don't know if he's whatever. He's just odd looking. Do you think he kind of looks like rapper / snitch artist Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Yeah, I could see that. I did see that version of that.
Probably far more athletic.
Yeah.
Better hair. Well, less colorful hair.
More reason to snitch.
Sure. But hey, you could argue both have a big mouth that got him in trouble.
Yeah.
To say the least. So those are only my 2 takeaways from the game. I didn't realize how old Bruce Arians was. I didn't realize how much Tyrann Mathieu, aka the Honey Badger, looks like Tekashi 6ix9ine. So
Tekashi 3-2.
Typical box score deep dives that most shows are getting into. What else did you have on your agenda from the game, or any takeaways or anything worth addressing?
No, I like those 2 points. Mine aren't too serious. I had that. I guess my only other really X's and O's thing. The Bucks running game is much better than people talk about.
Sure is.
Like, that's a really good duo.
That's another one
for a guy who, like, not considered a journeyman, but people weren't taken seriously in Leonard Fournette.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Leonard Fournette's always been a good running back. I think he's just been buried in Jacksonville. Again, he's not like Gronk. I think he played his best game probably last night, or one of his best games all season last night.
Yeah.
Interesting though. I think that goal line, I got nervous there too. After that goal line stop, I was like, ugh, that's pretty good momentum. And I don't think they scored. I think that was 2 handoffs to Ronald Jones, wasn't it? Or was that Fournette?
I thought it was Fournette, but I could be wrong.
I thought at least one of them was Ronald Jones. Either way, yeah, that's been a pretty impressive running game It's just a good offense. And I also thought about this too. It's like, I was curious what Jameis Winston thought while watching that game, because they talk about like beefing up this team in the offseason. They added Gronk, who was not much this season until last night. They added AB like halfway through the year, and they added Leonard Fournette, who we just talked about, didn't really do too much crazy this season. It's more or less the same core guys, but a much different result. And the only real difference was Brady and Jameis Winston. So a couple of guys, down bad after this game. Not a great look for Jameis. The Team Belichick camp is not in a good place right now. Bill included. Bill very much included watching that game. That's just a tough look. And like I said, I can't believe it got to, like, once he made the playoffs and the Patriots didn't, it was like, all right, now we have a conversation about, Bill versus Tom. Winning the Super Bowl is just, it's not a conversation anymore, I don't think, unfortunately.
I wonder what the conversation would be if somehow, let's say the Pats had made it to the playoffs and lost in like, I don't know, divisional or AFC championship. We'll just say that they didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I wonder if people would that still be enough to call it like 50-50 in people's
opinion? I think so, because I think that roster was just so much worse than Tampa. Terrible. Like I said, if they made the playoffs, I think that I would chalk that up as a win.
Yeah.
New quarterback, no offseason. You just lost the same guy who's been in the building for 20 years. You lost Edelman, basically. Obviously, no Gronk. You know what I mean? Pretty much anything else. Plus, a better team in the division than probably Brady's ever seen in Buffalo.
Yeah.
In Miami was respectable.
All the opt-outs.
Opt-outs, great call. Yeah, if they made the playoffs, I think that would put it on a pretty level playing field. Going sub 500 is tough.
Cam missed 2 games, right? With COVID?
He missed the Chiefs, and then it was the bye week. He might have only missed 1, unless you count the games he was physically there for, like Denver and San Francisco.
I wish that he had missed, just for argument's sake, I wish that he had missed the Chiefs and like another one either right before or right after. Because then we could then have the conversation of, you could say that those games were missed during his, like, when he was, I don't know. Quarterback.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And let's say you flip those 2 wins or 2 losses to make them 9-7. Would that have gotten them in the playoffs? 9-7?
I don't think there was any 8-8 teams in the AFC, so it could have.
Okay.
They would have tiebreakers over. Well, I think so, because they would have a tiebreaker over Baltimore because they beat Baltimore. So I think so. It could have.
So like that's how close they were theoretically. Yeah. I know. Obviously, this team fucking blew, but theoretically, that's how close they were to making the playoffs. If they had done just that much to make the playoffs, I wonder if people would have considered it a closer argument.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's like I've said all year. It's like I've really wanted Cam to come in here and do well or do decent.
Yeah.
I don't know if COVID had anything to do with it. I don't know if it's just, he's hurt, he's getting older, whatever. He just wasn't a serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL this year, especially under Patriots standards. So that just kind of is that's just a wash from there. I don't know what they'll do next year. I don't really feel like speculating what they'll do at this point. I'd rather just wait and see what they do. It's just a waste of energy, I think, to speculate what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I really don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah. Aside from what Giardi's texting me on the side, which obviously we can't talk about and publicize here. I don't want to speculate.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if they don't make a move by the draft and they draft a quarterback at 15, I'd be cool with that. But I still think they'll probably bring in a bridge quarterback. I don't know. I don't know where they spend their money. I'd like to get a receiver. I'd like to get a pass rusher. I'd like to get a tight end, but it's who are you going to get? Who's the big tight end name that's going to make a huge difference between... I consider last year not having a tight end, literally. I don't think they they didn't accumulate any tight end stats last year. So I don't know who's out there to even bring in unless you draft someone. There's plenty of wide receivers. I used to be a lot more. I think we talked about this last week. I used to be a lot more excited about Chris Godwin. I really don't fucking care. Like, I don't think he's that great. I'd rather get like an Allen Robinson or a Kenny Golladay or someone like that. But again, I don't know. It's not worth speculating at this time. I'd rather just sit back and see what they do. It's just too stressful. It just leads to too much disappointment, personally. Who knows? But anyway, go ahead. What else did you have on the docket for tonight?
Going back to Gronk for a second.
Sure.
And we'll talk about our wagers shortly.
Oh yeah.
Gronk thing. So Brady's been to 10 Super Bowls and won 7 of them. This now puts Gronk at going to 6 and winning 4 of them.
No shit. Gronk has 4 rings.
Is he the second greatest player of all time?
I don't know. He has 4 rings. He has 4 rings, and he's been a difference maker in those playoff seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't, it's not just collecting rings. Like he was a major player, obviously last night, all those Super Bowls. And then even the Rams Super Bowl, he didn't do much. You know, his final numbers weren't great. He made the biggest catches in the Rams Super Bowl and that Chiefs AFC Championship game. Yeah. Like he has 4 earned rings. Obviously Brady's earned his rings too, but that is a big deal. That is a significant number.
Yeah. Because I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but who the fuck can you think of that has 4 or more rings besides Joe Montana?
Well, that's the thing. Like when you think non-quarterbacks, no one even talks about non-quarterbacks as far as their rings go. Jerry Rice has a lot. He has at least 3 as a receiver. Emmitt Smith has 3. I mean, you can make the same argument for guys like Julian Edelman. He has 3.
Yeah.
Troy Brown had 3. I think he was there for all 3, right? Troy Brown in that first run. And then Edelman had 3. Was Amendola on the Rams Super Bowl or no? He was just Falcons and Seahawks.
Right.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of other like dynasties. Who else was there? Probably some like Steelers guys in the 80s and 70s. I don't really know enough about. But yeah, having 4 is pretty significant.
I did see.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for all the attention about Brady surpassing Michael Jordan in terms of like all-time great athletes, he did finally catch up to Robert Horry as well.
Another guy who's been earning rings his entire career. Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier.
What a weird argument he is.
Yeah.
Because he was important to all.
He was.
I think all 7 of his team, obviously not a marquee player, but
no. But
spot to occupy in like sports history.
How many rings does he have?
7.
So he did what? 3 with the Lakers? That 3-peat, right?
Yep.
And then mixed in some Spurs.
2 Spurs, and then the only 2 Rockets championships in the beginning.
The 90s?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize he was playing that long. Holy shit.
So like legitimately 2 dynasties, and then if you want to call the Rockets run, it was a notable run.
The team that took advantage of Mike retiring. Yes, I would call that significant. That's an interesting one. Like he was important, but on a very like micro level.
Yeah.
Like literally specific plays he was important on.
Micro Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think Gronk, I thought the same thing as soon as they won last night. Gronk having 4. And then has there been talk if he's coming back next year?
He said that he's for sure coming back playing. I think he'll be back on the team, but you know him. He never says like definitively. I guess he is a free agent now.
He goes somewhere else? That'd be so weird. He won't play.
I don't think he'll play anywhere without Brady.
I agree. So if that's the case, it's like there's no reason to think they can't win again next year. They're going to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Brady, I think Brady can get another ring. If he plays 3 years, it's just like he has no reason to stop playing.
Yeah.
Most players stop on a gradual decline. If he wants to stop playing, it's pretty much up to him. Like, I don't think he's going to get cut and like fired. So whatever.
His most recent update was that he said he wanted to play. Someone asked him like 45 and he said yes, for sure.
That's 2 years.
Yep.
So definitely. definitely within he'll be in the playoffs his tenure in Tampa, unless something crazy happens. So he has a chance every year. The Gronk thing's interesting. And I saw that too. I mean, the more I think about it, it's like, I think the rings comparison gets kind of silly when the other big name obviously is LeBron, going back to the NBA. And it's like, it's almost similar to Brady. Like, yeah, he's only won 4, but dude, he is in the finals every year. He's been to what, 10 finals?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's only won 4. His losses though have been a little more comfortable than Brady's losses. Like Brady's losses have been toss-ups, but you can make the argument some of his wins have been toss-ups as well. So I don't know. And then everything you see on Twitter, as soon as you post something about him being the greatest individual team athlete, someone posts a picture of Bill Russell. And I like Bill Russell. I like the Celtics. That comparison gets sillier and sillier like the longer time goes on. Would you agree? It's like you have 11 rings, but you were very good, but you're playing against 8. There's 60 guys in the league. Half of them have part-time jobs. Like it's not as comparable. Guys like LeBron and Tom Brady are playing at the peak of athletic excellence at like the height of their leagues.
Yeah.
So no disrespect, but it's just, I don't think that argument's ever going to really hold much weight.
You don't think the guys in like leather helmets would present a problem to Tom Brady?
Nah, I got Tom over Otto Graham on my all-time list. I do. Super controversial, but I do.
Interestingly enough, I've got Otto Porter over Bill Russell.
I have
in our top 50 that we're doing soon.
I have Bill Russell comfortably sandwiched between Otto Porter and Michael Porter on the all-time list. The old Porterhouse. Yeah, it just gets silly at this point, like watching this happen.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I listed this after the fact.
Oh boy.
When do you think, and I haven't answered this, but when do you think is the first time that you heard the word GOAT? And I bring it up because I'm just tired of hearing the word, not necessarily conversation, but it's, when things are officially done is when you see like older, whatever, grandparents talking about GOATs. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, all right, I'm out. Anyways,
Brady,
how long do you think, if you had to guess a year that you first heard that word, what do you think it would be?
I mean, we could probably go back and find this. I don't think it was really a word before Brady. Was it?
In common everyday use? No.
Yeah.
But I remember a specific instance and I was like, holy shit.
If I had to guess,
that word was introduced then?
Oh, then it's probably way before my guess, but I was going to say around like, probably his 4th Super Bowl, like once he started the second dynasty pretty much after.
And even then, that's, let's say that was the case. That's 2015. So a 6-year-old like word. So the reason I bring it up is because it's something that you and I both like. The I Get Money remix.
I was just going to say, I know exactly what you're going to say.
Which is 2007, which is, isn't that kind of weird? That even back then, that was already like.
Yeah, but that could have very well just been like a slept on hip hop line.
No, I know, but like for someone
some intern at ESPN heard that song and was like, hey, we should talk about this every goddamn second we get the ability to do so.
It is just funny that word was even introduced at that point. But yeah, if anyone is curious, look up I Get Money with Jay-Z, Diddy, and 50 Cent.
Next stop is line. Billy. Great line.
Yeah.
Great line. Probably went right over everyone's head at the time, myself included. But
because he was way ahead of his time.
What's dude talking about? Bill who? That's an all-timer. That remix. That's up there.
Is that maybe foreshadowing? Next maybe did he mean Billy Belichick?
Maybe.
Next stop is a Billy.
Maybe. Who knows? Talk about your day on the old gambling field yesterday. You had a good one.
Yeah, we collectively had a good day. I decided to throw in a couple props. I just decided to do who I thought was going to score the first touchdown. I took Gronk, Tyreek Hill, and who's Godwin.
Yeah.
I was just like Hill, I really thought, and then the other two, I was like, these are the long shots that I could see. And Gronk was 14-1.
Yeah.
Which even to me, I was like, all right. So I put $28 on it. Do the math out. That was
$4 something.
$6.
Right?
So it was it was $4 something. Yeah. It was $420.
That's a nice hit.
Yeah. And then I can't believe, having seen how the way that the game played out.
Yeah.
I can believe it, but I also took Brady over 295 passing yards. I was like, for sure.
295? Ooh. What do you finish with?
Like 203.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems high.
I just figured it would have been an offensive shootout where he was throwing a lot, but
I think that
sure wasn't. That's what happens when you have a good running game too. And plus, like, at certain points, they were trying to salt the game away with the running game too.
Never had the opportunity to do that in New England. That would have been nice. Just hand the ball off to Corey Dillon or LeGarrette Blount for 2 quarters. That'd have been fun.
Like in that Seahawks game, that's a stat line that gets brought up a lot. He had to play a damn near perfect fourth quarter to win that game. He went,
as he often does,
13 for 15, around 200 yards.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, no picks.
I saw this circulating around the other day, and I've said this before. I still think the Falcons, the 28-3 Falcons Super Bowl was phenomenal. Like, that'll never happen again. I still think that really kind of buries how good that Seattle game was. Yeah. That Seattle Super Bowl was awesome. That was the funnest, like, second half of football, I guess, outside of, I mean, if I have to go back and say which one was more enjoyable, yeah, Falcons obviously was crazy. But that Seahawks game was so good. I think you can argue that was just there as good of like an overall Super Bowl game. That second half, or even fourth quarter specifically, was so good. Mm-hmm. That first touchdown to Edelman, where it just absolutely put what's his name in a blender. Some sorry ass Seahawks cornerback. Amendola had a big touchdown. The Javon Curse catch, which was absolutely ridiculous, when I was ready to just throw my phone out the window. Obviously, the goal line play, the Malcolm Butler pick, like that game was crazy. 28-3, that Super Bowl was almost just like surreal. Like, it was almost just like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, like how ridiculous can we win a Super Bowl game? Right.
What I mean is, like, there was a very short amount of time where I really realized like they can actually win this game. Seattle was a game the entire time. I think they were down 10 or something, but that was like a game the entire time. The Falcons Super Bowl to this day just seems like unreal. But yeah, those are like nothing like last night. like Brady had to put up the greatest stat lines of all time. His greatest stat line was the Eagles game. He threw for like 500 yards. Literally had to do that to still lose by 1 score, but still, that shit was incredible. Like these, that was the first. Obviously, that's like probably the biggest non-Patriot Super Bowl last night. Like, I had heavy interest in because of Brady. Yep. That was just so fun. Last night was a lot of fun. So much more fun than a non-Patriot Super Bowl. And like, it sounds crazy to say, but they're just like, I honestly don't care. Like, if it wasn't the Bucks, I would have gone to bed probably in the fourth quarter. I was exhausted. If it was like Packers Chiefs and it was 31-9, or like whatever, 20-9 at halftime, yeah, I'm good. I've seen this 100 times. Speaking of I was gonna say, yeah, you had notes on the halftime show. I've heard pretty even split both ways. What'd you think?
I feel like I've seen more negative than good, and I'm not a Weeknd fan, but I'm pretty neutral, and I enjoy the performance. Not that I like, like I said, I could go either way with him. I thought I like visually how the whole thing looked.
Yeah, sure.
My bigger takeaway was just, the reception that it got online, and there were so many. Sorry, Dan Bollier.
Boy,
there were so many people that were saying the same thing, which was either I know these songs, but I don't know who this is, or people were like, "Who's the Weeknd?" or spelling his name out with the E at the end, and that's a giveaway.
Dead to rights. I didn't see anyone say that outside of Dan Boomer Bolio.
Yeah, maybe I'm just friends with other.
I'm
boomers.
Sorry, that is such a boomer post. I've never heard of this guy, but I've heard his songs on the radio. Oof, not great. And I feel like The Weeknd is at this point pretty mainstream, no?
Very mainstream.
Okay, just making sure. Like he's like a pop artist. He's not like some underground rap artist. He's a pop star.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of curious to see what the halftime show, was going to be like with everything going on. I've always thought Super Bowl halftime shows are kind of weird. I think it's weird where it's like the halftime of a like Smash Mouth football game. No disrespect to Smash Mouth, but like the halftime show of like a very violent physical sport. People are there clearly to see that sport. And then it's like Beyonce or like Lady Gaga, just a random Beyonce concert at halftime has always been so bizarre to me. For at least like the live audience, I feel like a casual fan doesn't go to the Super Bowl. You watch, of course, plenty of casual fans watch the Super Bowl. It's just an event at this point. I just found that I feel like that would be extremely uncomfortable.
In a little bit of a different way.
Live.
That's how I thought of when we were talking to old friend Tyler I.M. about how the Hawks in basketball have
same like thing,
a mid-game performance.
Yeah.
I guess at least with basketball, it's not like guys beating the shit out of each other and then you take a breath to watch some musical performance. But at the same time, it's just like that's even weirder because it's a much smaller stage and it's quicker too.
Well, it's also a regular season NBA game.
Yeah.
Why? Which is like people pay top price tickets to go. Like Migos goes on worldwide tours. Like you pay hundreds of dollars to go see Migos, or I can buy this $16 Hawks ticket and just see them at halftime. Like it's like a bonus. Very strange how they do things down in Atlanta. I don't know. I don't understand.
I got a question. So if anyone didn't see the halftime performance, at one point, The Weeknd did come down onto the field and he was dancing with a bunch of guys that were dressed the same and had on like masks and stuff.
Very responsible performance.
Who was your favorite of the masked dancers?
Third row back.
Don't say it.
This fifth guy in from the left.
You fucking asshole.
Killed it.
Exactly who I was going to say.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's a Super Bowl halftime show. Like, if you do too much, you'll probably get shit on. If you don't do enough, you'll get shit on. Like, what are these guys supposed to do? No one's there to watch. Actually, that's not true. I also get from the marketing angle. You know, if they're trying to get more casual fans, like not to sound like whatever, but like probably mostly women, right? Who may not typically follow the NFL. It makes sense to have like Beyonce or Shakira. You know, like Ari, my wife, she might not be as excited for the game. I mean, she is a football fan, but some people might be more inclined to watch due to the halftime show, which is more than fair. You know, just like I wouldn't be inclined to watch a concert of an artist I don't really follow. But if they randomly had like a 10-minute football game at intermission, I'd probably watch it.
I was about to say, how successful do you think that would be?
I don't know, but I'd be willing to see it. The
just in between songs.
The first intermission at a Mumford & Sons concert, it's like 7-on-7 drills with the Patriots and the Ravens. I'd go.
It's the Oklahoma drill.
Why not? Why the hell not? I'd see that in a heartbeat. Last thing, you had notes on the commercials?
I did. Real quick, what do you think is more polarizing?
Ooh.
A halftime performance or a presidential election?
Well, like most things in life, I think it depends on who's involved. Recency bias, I'd probably go presidential election. If we're rewinding back to 2000, whatever, when Janet Jackson's breast popped out, you could argue that.
Okay, let me make it more specific in that case. What's the clearest? Okay, so let's say the halftime performance that you get to choose from is I don't know, just happens to be like an old, like sleepy man.
Sure. Just
I gotta think of someone who fits that description. Or an also old, prejudiced, divisive man.
Opinionated man.
Yeah.
What was the question? Which is more controversial? What?
Which would be the more polarizing thing to be like? Which would you least rather be a part of?
God, I don't know. At least the halftime show has like a time limit. It's not going to be any more than 30 minutes of my time.
Okay, last iteration of the question. Okay. Who do you think would do better in their jobs if they were reversed? Joe Biden or Trump as the Weeknd performing, or the Weeknd as a president?
Who would do better?
Yeah, and also who would look better when you swap their like outfits?
Boy, I guess the Weeknd would look more natural as a president, as the latter of the options. But I'll be damned if that wouldn't be an entertaining halftime show.
That would still put asses in seats.
It's sure. Like, I think I posted it in our group chat with the Bolio brothers. WWE did halftime heat some time ago at a Super Bowl where they had The Rock and Mankind just have a wrestling match in an empty arena at halftime of the Super Bowl. And I should pull it up, like what year that was and who the halftime show was. But that is Vince just being like, I'm at the point where I can put my program on at any time and do numbers. And I don't know if I don't know what the final tally was between viewership, but I'll tell you what, like I've never seen a halftime performance at the Super Bowl that I would want to watch more than The Rock and Mankind have a wrestling match.
Oh, no.
I know that much.
Yeah, I agree.
Last night included. So I guess this, I don't know, different strokes for different folks.
Connection.
Great connection.
So yeah, last thing, the commercials. I didn't have a specific one in mind, but I just think and it's been this way for years where people always talk about how they're looking forward to the commercials. And if you go to a Super Bowl party, that's usually the conversation is if there's a lot of casual fans that are watching, they'll be like, yeah, I don't really care who wins this game, but I'm just here for the food and I want to watch the commercials.
Yeah, I got a couple takes here.
Go for it.
First one, Super Bowl parties stink. Like if you are a football fan, Super Bowl parties are hell. I never want to be a part of one. Going to a Super Bowl party with a lot of people who are casual fans is not fun. Mm-mm. Like, have you ever been to watch a Super Bowl at like a bar or a restaurant?
Oh, thank God.
That's insane. I can't imagine anything worse, especially with a Patriots Super Bowl. My ideal like venue for a Patriots Super Bowl is literally sitting in my room with the door locked, just watching the TV by myself. That's ideal. Parties are just way too much. People bring food and you have to socialize. And most of the time the game's probably like turned down and there's like music playing and like side conversations. No, like this is crazy. This isn't a party. This is business.
We'll party after.
Yeah, we'll party after. What was the other one? Commercials. Super Bowl commercials, I think, are dead. Like I was just talking to a colleague today online. It's like, I can't remember the last year where I could like remember like more than 3 Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
Like they're just not an attraction anymore. I don't know if that is just like, cause we just get hit with ads and commercials all the time, or like commercials. Like it's now normal for like bigger name celebrities to be in commercials. You don't need to wait to the Super Bowl to see it.
Right.
The guy who was playing in the Super Bowl is in commercials regularly. Like I don't need there really weren't any last night that stood out to me that were great.
I'm trying to think if I think
the way people, I was going to say, I think it also has to do with people don't watch, like people pay to not have to see commercials anymore.
Right. That's not,
you don't see commercials on Netflix. Exactly. Like I know some of our listeners watch DVDs and probably basic cable, but that's not how the majority of people consume media anymore. Like why the thought of being excited for a commercial is just bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I would pay extra to watch the Super Bowl commercial free. 100%.
Scott Hansen, looking at you.
Big time. Big time. I would kill to watch the Super Bowl on Red Zone. An Octobox with just a bunch of different angles. Sign me up. But yeah, no, not a big fan of anything last night. Really, honestly, not anything worth mentioning. I kind of mentioned the Matthew McConaughey commercial. I don't think it was good. What else was last night?
It was just weird. Oh, I didn't mind Drake from State Farm.
That was great casting. That was pretty good. The Michael B. Jordan Amazon commercials were pretty funny. And that's it. I really don't remember. Like I didn't sit there. Like none of them were trending on
else.
Twitter. No, like they weren't memorable. I just don't think it's that big of a deal anymore. And you pay crazy amounts of money for those commercials. But
I was about to say it's become like so commonplace that at this point, believe it or not, if I check my spam folder, I know who's emailed me about potential opportunities to advertise, and I said no.
Sure, no, I'm good.
I have better uses for my money.
My last take before we head out, I said this last night because remember, I think one of the first commercials that was frequent was for Paramount Plus, the new Paramount network.
Oh, God.
Dude, we're at the point now where, or I guess I'll ask you, like, when do we get to the point where it's now the cool thing to like cut subscriptions and just go back to basic cable? Cool and economically makes sense. Because at this point, it's great. Every channel now has HBO Max, ESPN Plus, Paramount Plus. My wife just bought fucking Discovery Plus. It's like all the HGTV shows. God. Like every CBS Prime Access or whatever. It's the same shit. Like you're just instead of paying one monthly bill for $200 to Comcast or Spectrum, you're paying $12.99 to 15 different companies every month, and you think you're saving money.
I think the funniest part is that some of the, at first it was premium networks, which I could understand more, but now,
I guess,
are we going to get like we saw CBS has one? I'm like, I don't give a fuck about CBS Plus. Are you going to charge me for like the Weather Channel coming up?
Right. Seriously.
We're going to have to get that through an app too.
I'm not paying money to binge watch Young Sheldon. Like I don't need to do this. This is absurd to me.
I love Local on the 8s as much as the next guy. And
no kidding.
I'll catch that on the regular Weather Channel.
But they're slowly making it more and more exclusive to those networks.
Yeah.
Like HBO Max, like they make exclusive shows. Netflix originals are at this point some of the best stuff on Netflix.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I guess I kind of have to do this, but I don't know.
Even that example of the CBS one, there are some shows that are exclusive to the CBS app.
Bullshit.
Like,
that's bullshit.
Are you kidding me?
Because they know people are still paying cable to watch CBS. You can't just give it to me on CBS. Like,
right.
God, that really grinds my gears.
You might not be interested in the CBS app unless you already had CBS to begin with anyways.
That's how they get you. They rope you in, and then you have to, and again, it's like the pricing is genius because it's low enough to make it not top of mind. Like what's Netflix, like 10 or 12 bucks? Obviously I'm going to pay that. I need Netflix, but even like ESPN Plus is $5 a month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That seems like a great value. WW Network is another great one. WW Network is $10 a month. It's literally every pay-per-view every month. And it has literally every wrestling event ever pretty much archived and like original documentary. So that's $10 a month. That's nothing. Spotify, Apple, $10 a month, nothing. But eventually you have all these things that are just, $10 here. It's like $200 a month for everything. So you're right back where you were, but you have to manage all these different accounts. It's it's just a crazy time to consume content.
I don't know.
That's why you should watch our show. We ad free.
Yep.
No subscription yet. It's just like sometimes like just do the right thing and just put out good content at a fair price.
Yeah. We're both very relatable. Just
our Patreon is
speaking into a mic.
If you want to join our Patreon, it's $4.99 a month, $499 a month for exclusive content. 5 minutes pre and post of every episode you can get for free.
And if you want something beyond that basic membership,
that's where
only $100 up every tier.
Gold, platinum, and silver packages.
Yes.
But anyway, I don't like to plug with ads during the show. Anything else before we sign off? Any major takeaways?
No, I can't believe that we're gonna uncut the cord though.
I'm getting close.
You know why they call it?
I'm gonna like siphon my cords back together and just get cable.
You know why they call it that, right? Cutting the cord.
I don't know.
It has to do, and you should know. So it has to do with umbilical cord.
I figured that's where you're going.
Yeah, because a lot of times you were born with cable.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shit. That's a good reminder. I still need to cut my son's umbilical cord.
You were promising me a little bit of placenta.
Oh, that's long gone, buddy.
Delicious.
That's long gone. Old news. You know people do that, right?
Yes. With what though?
I think it's a standalone dish. I don't know. Maybe like sauteed,
like gravy,
little olive oil. Yep.
It's a meat substitute.
Smothered placenta. Placenta, fried placenta.
Last
thing, very nutritious. Really yeah, go ahead.
I know that you've personally seen a birth. I do think it's funny how it's how it like I don't know if I saw it on TLC where you know how they have those shows.
Oh yeah.
Either there or I saw it in a at a class at UNH. Or maybe I just Googled it on my own time.
Sure. We'll include it in the show notes.
Yeah. How the placenta sometimes just like pops out like a frisbee.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like I went tubing yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It actually does remind me of that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I don't remember seeing that specifically, but ours was different too because my wife gave birth to our son in the middle of the night. It was like 3:00 in the morning. So I was sleeping on a couch in the room.
Wake up the neighbors?
No, we were at a hospital, but I was literally woken up, like, hey, it's go time. And it's like, holy shit. So you just get up, you kind of like get yourself awake. And it was like, no pregame, no walkthroughs, just like ready to go. And it's different. It's a strange experience. You or her? Well, I drove. Oh no, we were there way before.
Oh shit.
Maybe I'll say this for a separate episode, but we checked in like we were in the hospital for like 2 days before we finally delivered. We got there way too early.
Going through dry runs.
Yeah. Like I said, we did have some pregame walkthroughs. You ever seen those videos from Super Bowls? Patriots used to do it. Doing like pregame walkthroughs in the lobby of like a Sheridan. It's so weird. Oh,
I thought you were going to say like, I was thinking of like, you know how they have a scout team? So someone that mimics like the quarterback.
Yeah, that too. But no, there's like all the America's Games episodes. There's always a scene of one of the teams like doing a walkthrough in like a reception hall of like whatever
like
hotel we're staying at, which is pretty badass. It's pretty cool, but
guys in sweats just walking around like a hotel lobby,
literally preparing for the biggest game of their life in a fucking Holiday Inn check-in lobby.
Yeah, in a Holiday Inn do it, spa. When we were playing, where was ours?
I can't begin to imagine what you're talking about.
No, I know we play different positions, but you as a punter, where was your walkthrough? It was different for us.
It was virtual. I had to do it in my hotel room. But seriously, remember when like the NBA bubble first rolled out and there were those videos of them like rolling the hardwood literally through like the cliche hotel carpets like, into the gym? That's when I was like, yeah, we're not having an NBA season. But dude, time it came out.
You looked over to the wall and the wall was also carpeted, almost like a Lita Lane. I was like, where the fuck are they playing? This looks like Lita.
I almost pictured it like an AAU tournament with like 3 courts and like those slider like dividers like between like each court, like whistles over blowing each other, loose balls flying into the other court. Yeah. Oh God, that could have been a disaster, but it wasn't that much of a disaster. Anyway, let's sign off here. So another Super Bowl, another ring for Brady. We'll be back later this week. We can get back into some hoops 11 now. Go ahead.
If he gets to 11, where do you think he'll wear the 11th? Like during the ceremony.
That's what we call a teaser. We'll address that on our next episode.
Mm-hmm.
We'll open it up to the fans. Where does Brady wear his 11th ring?
Dude, if he did wear it there, that would be pretty badass.
It depends. It depends on the size of the ring. Let's put it that way.
It's how you use it.
Yeah, sure. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.